All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of Real Talk Podcast coming to you from Gimmicks.com and YouTube.com. We are running back through our movies that we've seen so far in 2017. Last episode, we got through our first 9, which was Assassin's Creed, Underworld Blood Wars, Resident Evil The Final Chapter, Justice League Dark, John Wick 2, Lego Batman, Logan, Kong Skull Island, and Power Rangers. That took us up to about March. So we're going to pick back up in March with this episode. Like I said, we are here at Real Talk. I am Shane.
I'm Robbie.
And let's go with, what was our number 10 movie we saw this year, sir?
Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell. Or if you go through some of the Hollywood drama, Hollywood whitewash Asian movie number 7, or however they kind of crucified it.
Just always got to be controversy in our movies.
It does.
What is up with that?
I mean, I don't know. I think the whole whitewashing thing is... We could do an entire podcast on this whole whitewashing controversy in movies, which I'm not going to pretend doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It 100% happened.
But didn't that happen about the same time the Iron Fist stuff did?
The Iron Fist stuff was stupid. The Iron Fist whitewashing controversy was people not understanding that Danny Rand was always a white dude.
Yeah.
There was no Asian Danny Rand. Danny Rand was always a white guy. But yeah, it happened around the same time because Iron Fist was...
It almost seems like it was trendy, though, for
yeah, but it's always
just...
trending. Like, anytime they remake something from Japan, people get aggravated. Or anything from another country. I remember last year when Gods of Egypt came out. And people were like, a Scottish guy and a white guy are playing Egyptian gods. I'm like, yeah, find me 2 Egyptian actors. Find me 2 Egyptian actors that make money in America.
Yeah.
There aren't any. So you have to, like, Americans want to see American actors. For the most part.
I gotcha. I get what you're saying. You want a familiar face to sell your movie.
That's the thing. It's not like here's the thing. It's not one I love, I don't watch a lot of anime.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favorite animes is this anime called Lupin the Third.
Yeah, you were telling me about this.
I love Lupin the Third. They just did, about 3 years ago, a live-action Lupin the Third. And, of course, surprise, surprise, the entire cast was Japanese. The main character, Lupin, in Lupin the Third, is not Japanese. He's French. His right-hand man is American.
Okay.
They were both Japanese in the movie because guess where the movie came out? Japan. If it was made in America, guess who would be, they would be American actors. It's just,
I gotcha.
Every place does it. So it's not a thing like I'm sorry, yes, absolutely. Would Ghost in the Shell have been more true to the source material if they had a Japanese actress? Yes. Would it have made any money? No. So that's just one of those things. It's controversy for controversy's sake. And I'm not going into that because we'll lose viewers or listeners. Like, if I get into stuff like that, we'll lose. But it's silly. But all right, Ghost in the Shell. You haven't seen the original.
No,
I haven't seen the original in 15 years at least. So from what I remember, it was pretty accurate to the new one was pretty accurate to what the old one was. But, like I said, I haven't seen it in 15 years.
The only thing I'd heard was a lot of things that were just flat out told to you in the remake or the live-action version were kind of, like, alluded to in the anime. So it's kind of like you just kind of use your own perception to come up with what you want to come up with.
Well, I think it's some of that stuff, because I remember that being one, kind of like Akira. Like, your 2 major anime movies, I think, for the longest time, were Ghost in the Shell and Akira.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them are pretty cerebral movies. And you have a tendency in American cinema to, you got to think a little bit. Well, Americans aren't going to understand this.
Gotcha.
So I think that's why things have to be spelled out more in this thing, or in movies like that when they're made in America, because movie executives think that the average person who's going to go see this from, Des Moines, Iowa, is not going to understand the intricacies of your average plot. I mean, you still get that with Inception. People go, "Oh, was it real or not? The top spun at the end. Did it fall over?" And it's like the top wasn't. The top. Have we talked about Inception?
No, because guess what?
Oh,
add it to the list.
God, add you to the list. You know what happens when you haven't seen movies you should have seen by now?
I know.
All right, so I'm not going to go any further into Inception.
Guy who doesn't watch movies, you just made the list
of movies you need to watch. So after you watch Inception, we'll talk about the ending to Inception. But I think it does. Like, you have that kind of backlash, I think, against like cerebral movies that make you think. American audiences, for blockbuster movies, you always get that argument. It's like, I don't want to think. I want to go in and turn my brain off and, you know, stuff like that. So it's like, you have to have that stuff kind of spelled out to you. Or you don't have to, but they spell it out for you.
It's like they movie watching for dummies 101.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. I gotcha.
But I thought the movie was good. I thought Scarlett Johansson did a pretty good job.
It wasn't terrible.
She's kind of wooden in a lot of her movies, I think.
It's like, I don't know, like, it wasn't terrible, but it didn't really stand out to me. But that could be because I haven't seen the anime.
Honestly, I think it's just one. I enjoyed the movie.
I mean, I know of it, and I know the style and what it looks like, and the characters and stuff like that. So I thought, for the most part, it looked okay.
Yeah, that's also Ghost in the Shell is actually one of the most like beautifully animated movies I've ever seen. Like the backgrounds in Ghost of the Shell are some of the best animation backgrounds you've ever seen. But
the only I guess. The main anime that I've ever seen that everybody talks about was Ninja Scroll.
See, that's one I haven't seen.
Really?
Yeah, because most of the animes I've talked about you haven't seen, like Bebop.
Yeah, it's like, it wasn't my thing. Like, it's just,
that's why
I never jumped into it.
I'm only into a couple. Like, I watched Bebop, Trigun, Lupin the Third, and Hellsing.
Gotcha.
Which I think out of any of those,
I actually have seen Hellsing.
I was about to say, I think you'd really like Hellsing.
I can't remember where I left off, but I was watching that for a while.
I love Hellsing. That's a movie I always, like back in the day, I used to think about what movies, if I could be a director, I would want to make. And Hellsing was always one of those I wanted to make.
That'd be cool.
But this movie, I mean, it came and went. I don't know. I don't think it made money.
It didn't stay in the theaters very long.
It really didn't. And it came out in March. Granted, March you had Logan, Kong, Power Rangers, Fast and Furious came out like a week or two later.
I know that they did say it underperformed.
Yeah, I didn't remember it making money.
Yeah.
But, forgettable flick. I'm not rushing out to pick it up when it comes out. I may get it in 3 years when it's in $3 bins on Black Friday. But
$3 bin on Black Friday. Were they giving it to you at that point?
Well, that being said, the last couple Black Fridays have been terrible.
That's true.
Like, I think I bought 3 movies last year.
I got my DC shows last year. That was my big thing.
I got those later, and I think I got those this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So moving off of that, we're back to another DC animated movie, Teen Titans: Judas Contract. I didn't hate it.
It didn't capture us as much as we thought it would. I remember we were talking about that as we were watching
and we were coming off of a high with the last two. Like, Justice League Dark, we both sat here and really liked.
Yep.
The surprise of the century was the one before that one, Return of the Caped Crusaders.
Oh, my God.
We sat here and...
I forgot about that, man.
Just adored.
I know in my last episode I said that Justice League Dark was one of my favorites, but I totally forgot about the Return of the Caped Crusaders.
That one was just so good.
The only injustice to that one was Ralph Garman not being the Joker.
No, I agree. Whoever they got to try to be Cesar Romero was not as good. Which I think, when is the next Caped Crusaders movie coming out this year? Because we were talking earlier, have they moved to 4?
I bet you it is.
And I think that one is...
If it's not this year, it's the first part of next, definitely. But you might be right, it might be this year.
But that one was, like, we watched it. It was a movie, like...
What was the guy who did Deathstroke's voice that passed away, like...
Oh...
I can't remember that guy's name right off, but I remember that being the big thing, was saying that it would probably be one of his last.
Yeah, because he died like very soon before the movie came out,
like a week, if that.
But that one was another one in continuity. It followed on the other Teen Titans movie, which I still haven't watched.
Maybe that's it too. Like every now and then, the ones in continuity seem to be the ones we.
I don't like them. It's like I said the last time. It's most of the ones in continuity I don't care for.
Yeah, that's true.
Mostly because it's weird. They all revolve around Batman.
I was going to say that was one of the first ones, though, because remember they did the Teen Titans, and they still tied it in because you had Teen Titans versus Justice League.
Yeah.
So this was kind of the first one in continuity without Batman.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, still had
that's what we talked about on the first episode. But
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it still had Robin in it. But yeah, you're right. It didn't have really any of the major characters in it, which is nuts. I mean, it was forgettable. Honestly, I can't remember much about it.
I think we were more excited about who did voices when
we were
talking about that movie.
Yeah, like I remember the point I was getting at earlier is, with Justice League Dark and Return of the Cape Crusaders, like we were both enthralled by those movies.
Yeah.
Like we sit here on the couch and was just like, oh, these are so good, and like looking over at each other like, I'm not full of crap, right? Like this is good.
Yeah.
And I think I remember both of like we were on our phones during Judas
Contract.
Yeah,
if you check your phone in the middle of a movie, it's not a good movie.
And we were both sitting there like, I think most of the movie we were sitting over here on our phones.
Because I think that's when we started getting excited about people doing voices. We're like, oh my God, Simon from Firefly is doing Nightwing. Or Christina Ricci is doing Tara.
Tara, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So that one was completely forgettable. Next one on the list, Fate of the Furious. Which, I mean, I've seen all but the fourth one in theaters.
I don't know as far as my theatrical ones go, but I know I own them all in Steelbook, and I've got this one pre-ordered.
I mean, I've got them all. I own them all, but like I remember because I watched the first one. We went to see the first one, and then second one came out. Third one I went to see by myself. That was the year I moved home after I'd lived in Christiansburg the first time, and just started going to the movies by myself. So I went to see Tokyo Drift. I was like, I really liked it. But I was like, man, if they make another one of these, it's going straight to the DVD bin.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to become what American Pie had become at that point.
That's a good comparison.
And then they were like, we're going to make one more and close it out with the original cast. And then now we're 4 movies past that one.
But remember, Vin Diesel doesn't like doing sequels.
Oh, yeah. And now...
Until he's like, wait a second, I can buy 18 houses with sequels.
Now all he does is sequels.
Which... I'm fine with. Like
they seem I wish they'd give me another Riddick movie.
You know what it's kind of become? It's like the Expendables. They just keep adding who they can get to those movies.
No, yeah, it's like who's a big name star that we can throw in there?
Batista was on the podcast with Jericho, and he was actually talking with The Rock, and he was supposed to be in 8.
Really?
Yeah, but there was a conflict issue with Guardians, so I really wouldn't expect. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me.
I guess he was probably just going to be one of the goons that worked for Charlize Theron at that point.
I think he was supposed to be tied to the Shaws.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like,
that'd be cool.
So if they can get him in 9, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'll probably the way I see those movies going 9, he'll be Drax because. They're going into space in the next movie.
Gosh, the best
I lay money down on the fact that they go into space in the next movie. Guarantee it. One character at least will leave Earth and be in orbit.
Maybe it's Dom. Maybe he goes up and he gets hit in the head. And then like when he comes back, the only thing you can say is, I'm Groot.
Oh, God. But, I mean, I think, here's the thing. Where I'm going with this, I love the Fast and Furious movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, last year or 2 years ago, I guess, when 7 came out, I introduced my brother-in-law to them.
Uh-huh.
And like we've marathoned them, and his our friend Justin, like I introduced those to him, and it was like we really like they dug them, and I was like, oh man, I was happy about these. This is the first one, and as much stuff that has happened in these movies. This is the first one that halfway through this movie, I'm watching the movie, and I just sit back and I go, oh, bullshit. Like, never did that in any of the movies.
I heard you in the theater. I can't remember what it was.
I'm just sitting there and I'm like, no, I know what it was.
It was the cars.
It was when they were harpooning the cars.
That's the worst description. Oh, it's the part with the cars.
Yeah, the part with the cars in the Fast and the Furious movie. But they're harpooning the cars. And Dom's in that GTX.
Yep.
And they're like, he's got 2,000 horsepower. And
more like 5,000.
The transporter's like, oh yeah, more like 5,000. And I'm like, monster trucks have 5,000 horsepower. That GTX, I don't care how souped up it is, does not have 5,000 horsepower. And that little GTX is not going to flip 4 vehicles by driving in reverse. And I just remember watching that and being like, oh, horseshit.
Wasn't it 6?
Like,
was there 2 on each side? And then
I think so. But I mean, they were flipping them at like 2 at a time and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just remember watching it and being like, all right, that was my jump the shark moment. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Until next time when they actually jump the shark.
You know what? I was more invested in the submarine part than I was that part of the movie. I was like, I'm watching the submarine part and I'm like, that's plausible. And I'm watching this other part and I'm like, and this is like, what was it, 6, where you watch them go down that runway that's 95 and a half miles long.
Yeah.
And, this is the same franchise that will show the cars going 200 miles an hour and shifting up 3 more times. And I'm like, how many gears does your car have?
75.
Hey, have you seen that meme to where it's like that meme to where it's like a picture of a gear shift and it's like the tree, you see the first 4 gears and it's like Fast and Furious gear shift and it's got like 8 more gears on the tree. Like, yeah, but I remember getting to that point and I was like, to the first time that I was like, I'm not excited about the next one. Because I'm like, that's why I'm not joking about the fact that I think they're going to space.
Well, what was it? They said they were doing 10, and it was supposed to be done with The Rock and
I was about to say, is it a Hobbs movie?
No, they're supposed to be
also 2 more.
There's supposed to be 2 more Fast
movies.
and Furious, and then
see, I was thinking one more Fast movie and then the Hobbs movie.
Because when 7 came out, he announced there's going to be a closing trilogy. That's why they signed on Kurt Russell.
Oh God! Well, and that's honestly. Talking about that, I like the Kurt Russell edition in the last 2 movies, which I love Kurt Russell. Like, I absolutely adore Kurt Russell. I really liked Scott Eastwood coming to the team. And I think he does a really good job of being... He's not their Brian, but he does take that place a little bit. And I like it. He's kind of a new comic foil. It doesn't have to constantly be Roman being the comic foil.
Yeah.
But I really dug it. And I like Scott Eastwood.
Yeah.
He was really good in Suicide Squad. He's really good in basically everything I've seen him in. I really kind of wish he was in Dark Tower somewhere, but yeah, we'll get to that one in a couple months. But like I said, I enjoyed it. It was one of those things where I'll buy the movie when it comes out. I had fun watching it. But that was the first time in 8 movies that I've kind of been like, all right, now, do we really need to go any further?
Those movies do fall into what we're talking about there, where you have to kind of check yourself at the door.
You do. Well, it's
and
one
then
of those
just
things,
go in and have fun.
A week before the new one came out, I was at my brother's house getting some work done on my truck. And the first one was on TV in his garage. Mm-hmm. We were sitting there watching it. And I'm like, in the course of 8 movies, they have went from low-level thugs
racing for pink slips,
who race for pink slips and steal DVD players, steal tube CRT TVs, and DVD players.
Yep.
To now, government agencies are calling this group in because they can't get the job done themselves. They need this group of street racers. Tej has moved from being, the mechanic in Miami, who gets some stuff done, to a top-level hacker.
He's the biggest jump.
Yeah.
As far as characters, because I totally forgot about that, honestly.
No, he is. He was just like, he's the guy that does the shady, like, he runs the races, and he runs he's a mechanic.
No, I want to put this satellite in
And
position.
now, yeah, he's a top level hacker.
Blow up the world with a paperclip.
Exactly.
MacGyver style.
Exactly. And it's one of the funnier jumps to me.
Maybe that's one of the short movies, like how we had on the. Was it the second one? It was like Brian going to Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe there's one where homeboy goes to tech school.
Don't get me wrong, Miami-Dade College offers some pretty good courses, and maybe Tej got him he might have that MDC sticker on on his bumper that I do on my truck.
But
I tell you one thing, I lived in Miami for 3 years, and I never saw sight one of that bullshit when I lived down there. Never saw a street race, never saw nothing.
Never saw the plot of Miami Vice, or not Miami Vice, but Vice City.
Never saw that. I mean, granted, I didn't live there in the 80s. I lived there 3 years ago. I should have.
Everybody should.
There's a documentary, there's a really good documentary on, it used to be on Netflix called Cocaine Cowboys. And it's all about, like, the early cocaine run through Dade County. And they're talking about, like, bodies showing up in shopping malls that I have been to. And stuff like that. Like, that's one of my favorite parts about living down there is watching movies that take place in Miami and being like, I know where that is. I know where that is.
Yeah.
It
would be cool if they do the next GTA based down there, though.
I want a new GTA in modern day Miami so bad.
Well, it would be 6. You got the VI right there in the logo.
I think so.
Greatest marketing campaign ever.
I think so. Moving from that on to the first Marvel movie of the year, Marvel Studios movie of the year.
Yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Now, I love the first Guardians movie.
Yeah, well, it's like we say, the first Guardians is like our favorite Marvel movie. And
very high up there. Mine is Iron Man.
Is it Iron Man? Okay.
Iron Man is my favorite. Actually, the first Iron Man movie is my favorite comic book movie.
Oh, okay.
Like, to me, it's a perfect movie. There's nothing wrong with that movie.
It is a good movie. I don't know. I guess Guardians just surprised the crap out
that
of me.
Was my
That's
thing.
why I like it so much. Well, I love Chris Pratt anyway, being the parks guy that I am. But, man, that movie just starts off and you're hooked.
No, I agree.
Stop.
Like, it's the opening credits of that movie are the most fun opening credits that I've seen. And so you get into the new one, and it's 3 years later, and you kind of know your characters. You've seen them a little bit, and it's, I don't know. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked it. I don't think it hooked you as quick as the other one did.
No, absolutely not.
And
like,
it's a good addition to that world, but it's kind of, some of the stuff they did was kind of wonky if you think about it.
It was.
Like, as far as fitting it back into the MCU.
Yeah.
But it's a good follow up to what's come before, and didn't hate it by any means.
No,
it was exactly what I was expecting it to be. It was a sequel to a movie that was awesome, so you're not going to have as good a sequel.
And you're going to get diminishing. Exactly, you're going to get diminishing. It's Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
Is Ghostbusters 2 as good as Ghostbusters? No, in no way. Is it a good movie? Yes.
They play off each other well.
Play off each other well. You don't have to worry about, like, introducing things. You're able to jump into the world brand new.
The thing that I loved about it, like, the first one was kind of, you could tell it was a group movie.
Yeah.
This one
was a Star-Lord movie that had the rest of the Guardians in it.
I kind of think it was a Yondu movie.
I could see that.
Like, I just do. I really do. Like, it seemed like everything that mattered involved him.
Well, to me, I take that as going into it being a Star-Lord movie because it's everything with Yondu gets to the point of building you to making Yondu Star-Lord's father.
Yeah.
Or daddy.
Yeah.
The way he says it is like, I might not have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it's because everything Yondu has in that movie.
I guess we're seeing the same thing from two different angles.
That's all it is. To me, everything Yondu does builds to that line. And then playing with Rocket a little bit, too. You know, that whole idea of, like... But it's also one of those things, like, they just kind of made Rocket a dick for no reason.
Yeah,
in
that was
this
weird.
movie.
Well, you separated from Groot, kinda.
I guess that's what it is, and I think you need that to get to, like, I guess the whole reason you make Rocket a dick is so that you get to that Yondu moment where he's like, I know who you are because you're me.
Yeah.
And it gives you that moment of being like, man, Yondu's not really such a bad guy. Like, it's one of the best babyface turns I've seen
Yep.
in a comic book movie. Like, he straight up did, by the end of that movie, turn babyface.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. It was like that, and I know we pick on Marvel for just being like, hey, here's the movie to get us to the next movie. The end of that kind of, hey, let's have 5 cutscenes to set up the next movie.
That was
which I get it, because not only are you setting up the other movies, but you're bringing those guys home.
But that being said, only one of those 5 scenes actually set up a future movie.
Yeah.
Because the rest of them were like the silly things, like Teenage Groot.
Yeah.
Got Homeboy stabbing Batista with the arrow. And then you get the Adam Warlock tease. Yeah. Which I still wonder, is that for Avengers or is that for Guardians?
He said that it's for Guardians.
It is for Guardians too.
You can't trust anything they say.
No.
It's like, oh, we're not going to put these characters in here, and then boom, there they are.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Did we ever figure out who Michael Rosenbaum was?
Actually, I actually looked that up. James Gunn did the same thing with Nathan Fillion. The same thing he did with Nathan Fillion.
Oh, where like, Nathan Fillion was Wonder Man.
A more recognizable character. We're going to bury your first appearance under makeup. Because remember,
was he
Nathan
one of
was,
the?
He was one of the. He was the dude with the all silver. Looked like he had diamonds in his face.
That's what I thought. He was one of the guys with Stallone.
Yep, he was one of those.
Because I recognized the voice,
and he was with them.
But I know Nathan Fillion was Wonder Man, but he's in the movie posters.
Well, see, Nathan was in the first one also.
Was he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in the first movie, he buried him under makeup. He's the prisoner that Groot is fighting.
Oh, really?
They did a big distraction and everything like that. So
because I know, like, it's one of those things that's supposed to be a blink and you miss it, but it's like he's in. I think the movie theater on Earth, is doing a Wonder Man movie marathon.
Yep.
And because he did one of the posters is like Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Like the Steve Jobs.
Yeah,
poster.
There was one there, and it was like another one was a parody of Conan. So it was like,
really?
I can't remember. He released them all on his Facebook page. You can actually look them up. But I don't know. I like them. It was fun. I didn't think it had as good a soundtrack, but the songs that they did use, they did them perfect again.
Because I downloaded the soundtrack and I listened to it a couple times driving around. And the soundtrack by itself, it's definitely a good soundtrack. But it's not... Like, that first soundtrack was almost like, that was one of the things I was worried about going into the movie. Mm-hmm. Was like, how are you going to top that soundtrack? Like, one of the best soundtracks to a movie ever was the first Guardians soundtrack. And it's like, how are you going to top that?
Yeah, that's like on my phone. I've got the first 2 Guardians soundtracks and Suicide Squad soundtrack. Those are the 3 soundtracks I keep on my phone.
But it's like, I like some of the songs they did. I like the way they did, Brandy.
Yeah.
Like, I really like the way they used that song. I like the Parliament song in the end credits.
Well, the beginning was pretty cool.
The ELO. See, that one, I didn't care much for the opening to that one.
Well, see, I did like the fact that they were like, hey, we're going to have...
And it's called back to your opening.
Yeah, but at the same time, you actually see a group working together to defeat something.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't really see that too much, like, you know, just kind of happening in the background. They're like, oh, we're doing this like it's an everyday thing. Like,
yeah, I did like
we're going to work. Groot, you go have fun, just stay out of the way. And then the little Batista reference where he keeps seeing him and he stops.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny. But, yeah, that was... Yeah, it was, like I said, I'm not crapping on the movie at all. It was definitely a fun movie.
I just can't wait to see those guys with... I want Chris Pratt and... Robert
Chris
Downey
Pratt,
Jr.
Robert
on screen
Downey
together so bad I can't
stand it. That's going to be good. And I like how when they first started, like that teaser video they put out a couple months ago, the first day of filming, they made certain to be like, no, here's Chris Pratt, Robert Downey Jr., and Tom Holland all together.
That's gonna be cool.
It is. I've heard something like, I mean, that movie's supposed to have like 60 characters in the movie.
Gosh,
I mean, it's going to be, I think it's costing like $1 billion to make.
What's like?
I mean, it's going to make 3.
Yeah.
But
What's like? I guess the biggest group we've seen so far on TV is all the DC guys from this year's crossover.
which I still haven't watched. But
I think
like
there's
hearing like 16 or 17
superheroes on screen
costumed heroes. Yeah, because even your main Avengers, like your money shots in the Avengers movies, are 6 or 7 characters.
Yeah, so that's gonna be insane.
Yeah, like just knowing like you're gonna get full characters like that would be. And to me, if they were smart, they would have Tom Holland get the Venom suit and then tie that into, which I'm trying to figure out. From the sound of it, this Tom Hardy Venom movie does not sound like it's tied to anything Marvel's doing.
No, it's not.
And I'm like, how are you going to have to, like, are you just going to make Spider-Man movies that have nothing to do with Marvel right now?
And it's weird because, like, I know it's not going to be as good because, like, you know, you got the whole, it's just not connected thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes I like that. You know, with things not constantly being connected. But at the same time, I'm like, you got Spider-Man, you've got to use Venom.
Well, my thing with that, not jumping forward into a whole new thing with Venom, but I'm like, I hope they're wrong and he's not playing Eddie Brock. Like, if it has nothing to do with Spider-Man, I hope that he's playing Flash Thompson and you get Agent Venom.
Yeah, that's what I heard somebody else talking about that. They were like, they should just straight up do Agent Venom as its own standalone movie.
Yeah, because you don't have to have Spider-Man involved in that one. Like, if you do Eddie, you have to have Spider-Man involved.
That would be cool. I could see it working like that, but if they just like, oh, we're going to do Venom's origin without Spider-Man?
Like, you can't.
That's going to be dumb.
I mean, you're going to get...
It's the whole
Space Rock
thing
from...
I was talking about in the last episode when I was like, "Oh, you're gonna try to make this without these characters? That ain't gonna work."
Oh, you
or
mean,
not? Old Man Logan.
Old Man Logan. Yeah, because I mean they're doing Planet Hulk. We'll be doing a show on that one in November. But
seems like they're getting sneaky to do that though.
Well, it's because
I was just talking a movie.
Well, I was just talking about Hulk with one of the guys I work with the other day, and it's because they made 2 Hulk movies and they made the exact same amount of money, and they're like, I don't think Hulk can carry a movie. So they're just going to work the best Hulk movie into
a Thor movie.
Which, based on that trailer, the new Thor movie out 80s, the Guardians movie.
That's the best quote that you said about that.
It does. Like, it's...
God, I don't know how they did it.
That movie looks like it was made in 1987.
With like, today's technology.
Exactly.
It's like, what's happening here? I don't know, but I love it.
Moving from that one, going back in time to King Arthur. This one got a lot of crap thrown its way.
Yeah, it did, man. It really did. Like, I don't know, like, I enjoyed it for what it was. I liked it.
Well, I like Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah, and that's what I expected, and that's what I got.
Mm-hmm. That's what, and I honestly, like, I got way more magic in this movie than I thought I was going to.
You know what that movie proved to me, though?
What?
They can make a Masters of the Universe movie.
Yes, they can.
Because, holy crap, that guy looked like Skeletor.
They basically made a Masters of the Universe movie. Like, the third act was He-Man versus Skeletor.
Yeah.
Basically. Like...
I was like, I don't know, I liked it. It was fun. Like, it was a little weird, and, like, some of the editing was kind of all over the place. Yeah, but that's that
Guy Ritchie editing.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch any of his movies, you're going to see that stuff.
But, yeah, it wasn't super spectacular.
It was a flick. It was interesting. I don't regret seeing it.
Yeah.
I was glad we saw it for... Well, no, because that one we didn't see together. I went with a friend to that movie.
I can't remember when I went to see that one.
You saw it
was like a day off or something.
It was I mean, we were going to go see it on Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
And then...
I saw it on Tuesday.
I went and saw it the weekend before because we wanted to go see a movie randomly. So, yeah, it literally was. We're sitting at KFC and she was like, oh, I'd kind of like to go see King Arthur, but, you know, I'm going to have to see it myself or I'm going to have to trade off with my son because he doesn't want to see it. And I'm like, well, I want to see it.
Yeah.
Let's go see it. So, yeah, and then I told you... Did you and Jamie go?
No, I think I was. I didn't know if I was gonna have the day off on Tuesday. I was
okay.
like, "Hey, are you still good?" And yeah, I seen it, but go ahead and see it. And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, that was it.
That made me skip a movie though.
Oh yeah, so go back to. I mean, we haven't talked about it, or I haven't watched it. I've got it downloaded, so I'm going to watch it soon. But yeah, go ahead and hit the one that you've seen that I haven't.
I guess I saw Beauty and the Beast after I saw Ghost in the Shell. From the way I'm looking
I think
at
that's
it.
right. I think that's right.
Because that was one I squeezed in on an impromptu day off.
Because we were going to go see. Yeah, I remember you sent me a message. You were like, "Hey man, you want to see Beauty and the Beast?" And I was like, "Not at all." Is that the? Did you double feature that in Logan?
It was 2 days. I saw
Back to back?
Logan the second day, and then I saw Beauty and the Beast the day after that.
Gotcha.
Because Logan needed a second viewing, as far as I'm concerned. It
Gotcha.
needs a million viewings. But
Have you watched the Noir yet?
no, I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to. But no, like I figured, like when I was a kid, I loved the 3 Disney movies that were my go-to were Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast.
My favorite Disney movie is Aladdin.
Yeah, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and The Lion King.
See, I'm with you on 2 of those. I never got behind Beauty and the Beast.
Really? I liked it.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but it's just one of those things to where it's like, Beauty and the Beast is the first major Disney movie I remember because my sister was super into it. Like she had the little magic mirror that you hit the button and characters showed up.
My sister had that.
Like she had that. She had a bunch of the other stuff. Well, maybe I guess Little Mermaid before that one.
Like my sister got Beauty and the Beast for Christmas, and I got Aladdin for Christmas.
Oh, gotcha.
So I think as far as like collecting movies back in the day on VHS, those maybe like
and those big ass plastic
big
clamshell.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think there's maybe the first 2 Disney movies we got, and so I remember spending Christmas break watching Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast a lot. And I don't know, I just like those movies, and that's the whole thing now Disney's going to do is keep making live action movies.
Which I'm going back to what we just said, the idea that Guy Ritchie is going to do Aladdin.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that.
So I was like, well, I know what I'm getting into, so I have to see it. And it was okay. It made me want to go home and watch the other one.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like, I can get like, it's like, hey, this is for a new generation, but at the same time, let's let everybody remember their childhood kind of
See, I haven't seen any of the remakes.
That's the first one that I was like, I want to see it. Because like I said, those were my 3 movies.
I wanted to see Jungle Book. The fact that it's on Netflix now and I haven't sat down and watched it yet kind of shocks me.
But seeing that one and seeing as how they kind of do have fun with it,
right.
I'm going to do the same thing. I want to go back and watch the ones I've missed.
Gotcha.
But I enjoyed it. It was cool. Like
I guess I watched Alice in Wonderland and that turned me off because I hate that movie.
Oh. Box of hate.
The box of hate. Like I hated that movie.
But no, I mean, they did add like 2 songs that weren't in the original.
I'd heard that. Apparently they're in the musical.
Yeah.
And so that's where they got them.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense then.
And then what I thought was so funny, I can't remember if we've talked about this or not, because I remember hearing the controversy. Oh my God, there's a gay character.
There was a gay character in 92. You just had to look.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, the moment they even announced it, I was like, it's LaFoe.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's LaFoe. And I was like, he was gay in the first one. Like, this dude is like, you do not slobber over Gaston, the amount of, like, that dude did. And I haven't seen that movie since 91. And immediately I was like, yeah, it's LaFoe. Like,
yeah. It's like he sings a song about him.
Yeah. It's like how awesome and manly. Yeah. I was like, no.
So yeah, that happened.
Homie's harboring a little bit of the man love in that one.
It's like had that not been in it, it would have been probably controversial. Like, oh no, they took out the gay character. Like, see, it's just, Hollywood is damned if they do and damned if they don't. It really is.
And it wasn't even like, I remember them talking about it, like, you would have thought that there was straight hardcore gay sex in this movie from the way that people were acting. And they were like, what was it? At the end of the movie, he dances with a dude?
Yeah.
And that's it? Like, it's not even like they draw attention
you remember
to it?
You remember in the animated one, you had the dresser that had all the clothes that would dress people up.
Oh, yeah.
She dresses like 3 guys up as women, and 2 of them freak out, and one guy's like, "Ooh, I kind of like this,"
really?
And that's the guy that
he dances with at the end.
So I'm like, okay, Why's everybody losing their crap over this?
Because you can't do that in Alabama. You know what else you can't do in Alabama? Live a normal life.
But apparently you can marry your sister, and everybody's okay with that. And everybody from Alabama just subscribe to us.
Trust me, nobody in Alabama has internet connection. They're not listening to us. All right,
so that brings us back, though, on a fat little detour back to...
Moving to Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting one because, yet again...
I had to play catch-up.
You had to play catch-up to a movie that came out in 1979.
And the only reason I put watching those off for so long is I didn't know how to watch them. And then you told me.
I remember you asking me that because you were like, how do I watch these? There's like 9 cuts of every one of these movies. Which, same reason you probably haven't watched Blade Runners because there's 45 cuts of that movie.
Yeah. But I had seen Prometheus.
Right.
And I'd seen those terrible...
Alien versus Predator. I saw the first one.
I've seen every Predator.
I haven't seen the second Alien versus Predator, which, from what I gather, is the darkest movie ever made.
It's so bad.
They got me whenever... I remember reading the thing, and it was like, this movie... The bad thing is I own it. But, I remember reading, it's like Alien versus Predator in the suburbs.
Well, the end of the first one set up with that badass... Oh my god, this is going to be cool, because you're going to have, like, the hybrid with both of them?
Right.
No, that movie
Alien
sucked.
Really?
It's terrible, man. Like, and I don't say that. You know I don't say that.
Yeah, we usually like most movies that we watch.
But God, that movie was bad.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounded bad. Like, to me, when I heard In the Suburbs, I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, no thanks. But, and I mean, the fact that they take place out of continuity.
Yeah, that's weird too.
So.
But, yeah, I'd seen Prometheus, and I actually liked Prometheus.
I like Prometheus. Like, I actually rewatched it right before we went to see
Well, that's what I did. I watched the theatrical of Alien and the special edition of Aliens, and then I watched Prometheus.
And, like,
then I went to go see it.
I like Prometheus. A lot of the problems I think people have with Prometheus, they could be easily solved. In and of the idea of, like, you know, maybe not have Guy Pearce play a 90-year-old man.
Yeah, that was weird.
Well, apparently what it was, they originally wanted somebody older to play Guy Pearce. And then they had Guy Pearce do the TED Talk. Because part of the... Remember how, like, there were scenes that came out before Covenant?
Yeah.
That, like, gave you... Well, there were scenes... They did that with Prometheus.
Oh, okay.
And one of them was Guy Pearce... Wayland giving a TED Talk.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
And they actually had Guy Pearce play that guy. And then something happened and they decided to go ahead and put him under makeup instead of having an older actor actually play Guy Pearce. But that was silly. Some of the other stuff, some of the stuff I like arguments with, even with this Predator, or Alien movie, like, because one of the things people had said was, oh, how come they're on a brand new planet that they've never explored and they take their hoods off? I'm like, because it has breathable air.
Yeah.
Like, they knew this before they landed on the planet, that it had breathable air. Why not?
Well, that's like they even did that in Prometheus when they found out the air was breathable. They took their
because
helmets
homie's
off.
like, which I tell you one thing, going back and rewatching Prometheus, that dude deserved everything that happened to him.
Yeah, he was a dick,
movie.
dude.
That dude was a straight up douchebag. And, like, to the point to where the first time rewatching, I was like, I got you, David. Like,
yeah,
turn that bitch into an alien. You know, maybe not give girl that with the dragon tattoo squid baby. Like, maybe we don't need to go that far, but
that still confused me because I was always like, is she meant to be like
weird.
The
And
queen?
the new one doesn't help at all.
No,
like,
it's
you
just
want to know my problem with... I liked Covenant. These two movies, we've apparently had 2 movies that are supposed to explain where the alien comes from. I still have no fucking clue where the alien comes from.
Well, they kind of explained it in this one.
Did they?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of?
No, I'm pretty sure they did because, like, that was the whole thing. Like, he kept engineering things that he could on that planet.
But
and
you get earlier,
we finally get
like,
to
you find
the
out
alien.
later that it's like you have to have a queen. Like, the queen lays the eggs. You
Now
find that out in
that
Aliens.
throws it off.
And
like, how did he make the first egg?
And if that's
with
the
face
case,
hugger?
why does the engineer ship in Alien have eggs on it?
Oh boy.
Because there's an engineer
Yeah.
driving that ship on LV-426, and there's eggs all over the place.
Do you think they're going to make another movie where...
I mean, apparently there are going to be one or two more movies that are supposed to bring us closer to Alien. Which, I mean,
I
at that
bet
point,
you I know what's going to happen.
My problem is at this point, I think Ridley Scott's just making this shit up as he goes.
That could be. But you may have an engineer who finds out what happened in Covenant, pissed off, so he just loads up a ship.
Because one of the things, I read a bunch of stuff, like, I don't know how you took it. And spoilers for this movie. Whenever it shows that David got to this new planet and just nuked everybody, I did not think those, like, to me, like, those were not engineers to me.
Really?
They didn't look to me like engineers. The way I took it was that, and this is reading into stuff that was originally in the Prometheus script that got cut out. And I can't remember if we talked about this. Apparently one of the ideas was that about 2,000 years ago, a engineer sent an engineer-human hybrid back to Earth.
Yeah, you told me about this. This is weird.
We crucified him.
Yeah.
So they're not very happy with us.
Right.
And the way that I took it, because if you go back and watch the beginning of, like, that scene where he's nuking everybody, everybody gathers and they're super excited. Like, if this was just a ship coming home back to the home planet, the whole population would not show up to, like, welcome them back.
Right.
Plus, they don't look exactly like engineers. If you look, like, you can tell they're more human-sized.
I have to look at it again.
Like, 3 feet taller than humans. The way I took it is this is another planet where the engineers have seeded life, but had a little bit more hands-on. Maybe they didn't kill their Jesus.
Gotcha.
And so when they see the ship come back, they're like, oh, our gods are coming back. And then, of course, David nukes the shit out of them.
Interesting.
Like, that's the way I took it, based on that original script. Or those parts that got cut out of the Prometheus script. I think it might be...
It should be fun seeing how all this ends up being connected with
I'm interested.
2 more movies.
That's the one thing... Well, at least Ridley Scott's not making Blade Runner, so I'm not too worried about that. But I am kind of thinking, I'm like, I think Ridley Scott's just making this shit up as he goes.
What was it, like 20 years they got?
I think they're 20 years earlier than Alien at this point. So, I mean... Not a bad movie. I enjoyed a lot of the movie. I just think that for a series that's supposed to be answering questions, it's not answering any of them. Which, you never watched Lost.
Yeah.
But Damon Lindelof, one of the main writers from Lost, is the writer of these movies.
Oh, really?
And Lost has a bad habit of making you want to know the answers to questions. And not getting them.
I guess the good thing you can say, though, is Covenant took it closer to Alien than Prometheus did.
Oh, absolutely. So, like, when I got to the end of Prometheus, I was like, I don't know how this ties into
seriously,
Alien.
I thought that was the queen at the end of Prometheus. I thought that's what he had made.
Really?
And I'm like, well, I guess
now,
it'll
apparently
change.
That's a thing called the Deacon.
Yeah, I saw that. So there went my idea out the window. But
so moving from that, and now we're into this week. We've seen...
3 movies
We've
this
seen
week.
3 movies this week. We've seen 3 movies in 4 days.
All right.
So, Tuesday we went to see Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
I'm more forgiving about
Dead Men Watch No Movies.
I don't know. I like those movies. They're just fun for me.
I think well, we talked about it a little bit after that. Like, that's one of those things is we've had some of these conversations before. But I kind of thought back to it, and I'm like, you know what? I really liked the first Pirates.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm not certain I've liked any of the other ones.
That's what a lot of people seem to think, and I always keep saying it's the Matrix because you only needed one, but
I will agree with that.
With the other
but
ones.
I mean, the first one come out and made all the money, so of course they keep cranking these things out.
Yeah,
Johnny Depp owns an island because of these movies, so I understand why he shows up. But I read a review today that was like, I think it is.
So he's literally a pirate of the Caribbean.
But I think it's like somebody talked about it and it made sense. Like they said, Johnny Depp basically phoned this movie in, and he's like, the first Captain Jack is a cartoon character now.
Yeah, and see that's the
and
thing.
He
in the
wasn't
first one,
in the first.
Yeah,
one.
in the first one, everything that he did it. Everything that happens in this one's an accident.
It is. Yeah.
So I don't know. It was okay, but like I haven't read a thing that said that
it was better than the last one.
With the ending that they got, their plan was for that to be the final thing, and then the thing that they tacked on at the end of the trailer was, or at the end of the credits was, well, we'll leave it open in case Disney and
want to make the Orlando Bloom movie.
Well, no, they said if Disney and Johnny Depp wants to come back.
Oh,
it's like they left the door open in case.
Right.
But honestly, I think it ended good. Like just.
No, I don't think they need any more of these movies unless Johnny Depp gets a Nicolas Cage pulled on him and loses all of his money.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
Loses all of his booty.
That being said, with him moving, like if they're not going to do Pirates, how long do you think it is before they move him over into Marvel?
I'm surprised they haven't.
I am too.
And you know it's going to happen now with Disney owning Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay, well, come play in this world.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't know who he would be.
I was going to say, who would he be?
But, because to me, like, ever since Captain Jack, like, to me, I think, in a lot of ways, Captain Jack has ruined Johnny Depp.
But it kind of saved him, too, at the same time.
I don't know. It made him a star.
Yeah.
But, because before that, Johnny Depp was always this really good actor. This made him a movie star. But almost every movie he's made since then, he's been a cartoon character.
I don't guess I've seen anything that really stands out for me to think of.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just putting too much Alice in Wonderland hate on him. Like,
I
fucking hate those movies. Well, that movie, I never even saw the second one, but I hate it by proxy.
I gotcha.
But I don't know. He just hasn't been as good since Pirates 1 to me. Like I said, I liked it better than the last one, but the last one was terrible.
It really was, man. I still don't know what happened in that movie.
I can't remember. I remember a mermaid.
I don't even remember what they were looking for.
I remember Blackbeard. I remember not Salma Hayek. And I remember... Was that who it was?
Yeah. Racist!
I didn't say it was Salma Hayek.
God, I knew what you were talking about, though. That's terrible. But Found the Youth, that's what they were looking for.
That was it. And they needed a mermaid for some stupid reason.
Because
mermaid tears, weren't mermaid tears a part of it? Like they had to make her cry.
With it being Disney, do you think it was the Little Mermaid?
I'm
sorry. Not sorry.
I don't want to be part of that world.
God.
All right, let's get off.
You just want to stay under the sea.
Under the sea. All right, let's get off of that garbage. It was not a good movie. Like, it's funny. Our buddy Derek, constantly. Derek's always like, because you've probably got it. I mean, we're 16 movies in, and you've not really heard us talk back. Like, the worst we've talked about a movie so far has been Pirates, and it's kind of like, I didn't like it. Like, we kind of like, usually if we go see a movie, we already kind of know we're going to like it.
Or at least have an interest in
seeing it. Or at least have an interest in it. Like, we're not one to go see movies we don't want to see.
Yeah.
So, 9 times out of 10, we're going to like the movie that we see. And Derek is always like, I want to be there the day that you watch a movie that you don't like. Pirates is the closest we've come to that in a long time.
It's kind of one of those I know I'm not going to rush out and buy on Blu-ray.
I'm not going to buy it on Blu-ray. Like, I don't have 4. I don't have 2 for some reason.
So you've got 1 and 3.
I have 1 and 3.
That's weird.
Well, it's because I was going to get those movies when I joined the Disney Movie Club, and I accidentally ordered 2 copies of 3, and I sent 1 back and asked for them to return it with
2,
and they never did it.
Oh,
they just
gotcha.
refunded me, and I never picked it up.
Gotcha.
I'll put that one together and get the original trailer. I'm not going to Men in Black it where I have 1 and 3 and never go by 2. That movie's bad. But I remember walking out. The fun that movie, I remember walking out of it, looking over at my girlfriend at the time, and being like 30 seconds out of the movie, looking over and go, I don't remember anything that happened in that movie.
Oh wow, maybe you got flashy thinged.
I think it's it. Because I remember that, and I remember walking out of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and my exact quote was, "Well, that was a movie."
Yeah, that was a weird movie, man.
But yeah. So, like I said, getting back to today. Today we saw 2. And the first one was Wonder Woman.
I knew you were going to do that.
The new...
So you're obligated.
I think it is. It's in my contract. But, so we go into Wonder Woman. Big DC movie. DC's behind the 8 ball on these movies. So much so that I think we've both said, like, DC has to have a hit with this in Justice League.
Yeah, they've got to use these movies to save it.
Because, and we're not saying save it as in bad. Both of us love all of the DC movies.
Even Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, we had a ton of fun with. And you can go back and watch the episode.
Gets so much unnecessary
You can watch the episode
hate.
we did with Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
We gave it a glowing review. Like, we love Suicide Squad.
Love the extended edition of Batman.
I love
Superman.
Batman. I love the theatrical version of Batman Superman.
Now, I think that the theatrical answers, or it helps Superman a lot. Right. There's more Superman in that.
Yeah.
In the other one, they just kind of gave Superman the boot a lot, it seemed like.
But, I mean, the extended was great. But I love the theatrical version.
Yeah.
Man of Steel, I loved Man of Steel. Like, I've loved everything DC has done so far.
To start this.
Yeah,
this is weird.
I remember, like, here's the thing. We talked about it. We get to the end of the movie. Rob looks over at me, and he goes, "That was great." And I go, eh?
Yeah,
and I remember you actually being like, what?
Yeah, like, I don't get why you think it's the weakest one.
That's the thing I said. It is in absolutely every way the weakest of the 4 DC movies. And my problem with it, and here's what I'll say. I said 2 things. One, I feel like I've watched this movie 6 years ago. And it was called Captain America: The First Avenger. It steals so many beats from that movie. The brand new soldier. Nobody believes in her until she shows her might on the battlefield, and then she's got her ragtag group of nobodies that follow her. Each one of them is majorly like they're caricatures.
Okay.
And then starts leading the war and wins World War I.
But
against a superpowered foe at the end of the movie, who is a crappy German accented character.
But
it's Captain America.
Honestly, though, if Wonder Woman would have came out first, you could be saying the same thing about Captain America.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. If this came out before Captain America, I would be absolutely singing this movie's praises.
Like, I think that movie did what it needed to do. Like, it captured the heart of Wonder Woman.
No, I will not disagree with you.
I think it was fun seeing Themyscira. Like, you actually went away from...
the first 2 acts of the movie I love.
Like, you got to see... Like, I guess how I got to see a little bit more of Krypton in Man of Steel. You got to see more of her.
I agree.
So, it was a good origin story. And, yeah, we've kind of seen it with her animated movie.
Yeah.
And,
well, my problem, and spoilers, because this isn't in a lot of the trailers. Like, it actually shocked me that none of the trailers have shown Ares.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I didn't even realize he was in the movie until I saw the Lego set.
Oh, okay.
And, because I just literally thought it was going to be Wonder Woman winning World War I. when Ares showed up, the movie took the turn for me. I was with it every step of the way until Ares showed up.
Oh, really?
I thought at that point her acting got very wooden.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's not responding to these, like, it does not seem like she is in a fight with a god in the way that she's delivering her lines.
I gotcha.
Crazy Professor Lupin mustached English man is not what I saw as Ares. I would have actually, because even to the point where the mask is on him and it's still him with the mustache behind the mask. I'm like, I would rather it have been like glowing red eyes and a blacked out face than actually having an actor behind them.
I could kind of see that, but
and
kind of like if you would have kept him, like it's fine that they do the bait and switch, but then just have him look totally different when he actually.
Did you call him being? I called him being Ares the moment he was announced.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the moment he showed up in the movie, I was like, "That's Ares."
Nah, I didn't. I was just kind of like, I don't know, man. Like I was kind of like just. I don't know. I was just I kind of like wasn't trying to compare that to anything. I was just actually watch. That was kind of cool. Like I was just sitting there watching it, being like, okay. And like the first 5 minutes, you're like, hey, I need to know your story.
Right,
that was cool.
I like the tie-in to with Batman and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was cool. Like I get what you're saying though with the ending, like how it can kind of be tied to Captain America.
Yeah.
With the whole, hey, let's lose somebody and almost the same way. But. I don't know.
And my problem, like I said, that was the first thing I said. My second thing was like, and this is, I honestly think why it's getting so much praise. It's the first one of the DC movies that has felt like a Marvel movie. And I'm not just saying when I felt that I've seen this movie before. It felt like a Marvel movie. The story beats felt like it was made by Marvel. And I've liked the DC movies having a different tone than the Marvel movies. And it's weird because this, to me, is the most comic booky looking of all of the movies so far. And even going into Justice League, the trailers for Justice League look the most like a comic book.
Yeah.
Than any comic book movie I've seen so far, other than maybe Sin City. And I think that's going to work out really well for it. But honestly, after seeing this, my biggest fear is that Justice League feels like Avengers. And if Justice League feels like Avengers, I'm going to walk out of that theater incredibly let down.
That would be interesting. I don't know.
I was not prepared for a world where I might not like Justice League. And that's what I'm feeling right now.
That's weird, man. I don't know. I guess we're just two sides of the coin on that one. I'm excited, but I liked Wonder Woman. I didn't hate it.
Here's the thing. I don't want it to come across like I hate it. Like, I just sent a message to somebody earlier. She was like, "Oh, is it worth my time and money?" And I was like, "Yes, go see the movie. It's absolutely worth it. I'll buy it when it comes out. I'll watch it a couple different times, maybe on a repeat viewing. Like I think I'm going to go see it again sometime this summer, so that I can go into it kind of knowing what to expect and look at it a little bit harder."
Yeah.
But
it's like the second viewing of a movie is going to always change your opinion or help it or sometimes hurt it.
Yeah. But it's just like that first impression I had, like I said, first 2 acts of the movie, I'm with it 100%. I'm loving it. They're doing a great job. The last act got me. And it just, I don't know, it didn't it didn't get me is the problem. And I don't know, I'm interested to see. Honestly, I think if they'd have found some way to not make it I'm glad it was World War I and not World War II.
Yeah.
If it was World War II, it absolutely would have been Captain America.
Yeah, I could see that. So, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make it seem like I'm crapping on the movie, because in no way am I. Like, I can easily see why it's the best reviewed DC movie right now. Because to me, it's because it feels like a Marvel movie.
Well, you kind of got what you were expecting, though, too, with that one. Like, Batman Superman, we didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah, you're true.
As far as story, like, they're like, everybody was like, it's going to be like The Dark Knight Returns. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
And it really wasn't at all.
I was like, the only thing, if it's like that, the only reason it's like that is because Batman and Superman
fight at the end, yeah.
I was like,
and they took the armored suit, and a lot of the fight beats were from Batman Superman.
Yeah,
but
you could say it looks.
The rest of the movie wasn't
like
Batman,
that.
Dark Knight.
Yeah, like as far as visuals go, you could say it looks like that, but you can't say it is that.
Exactly.
So I don't know. It was like I don't know, but this one you got what I got what I expected. I liked it.
I guess I was just looking for a little bit more, and like I said, out of the four, it's the weakest of the four to me. But I'm not saying I hate it. Like, I don't want it to come across like, oh, this movie was terrible and it was trash. Like, no, I had a fun time with the movie. It's just that last act, I kind of dialed it back. And I was like, all right, I'm kind of losing my... It's the same thing I had with Fast and the Furious. I was like, all right, I'm kind of dialing this back a little bit.
Gotcha.
All right, so that's going to take us to the last one that we've got so far, the second of our double feature today. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Zac Efron, Baywatch.
Just a random weird movie we decided to tack on today.
The funny thing is, it's weird that out of the two movies, that's the one I enjoyed more today.
Oh, that's weird. That's weak sauce, Shane. You can't say that. The internet will eat you alive. Nah, we love The Rock.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So,
love The Rock.
Anything The Rock's in automatically has a pass. If you crappiest movie in the world, we're going to watch it.
I don't know. I haven't seen Tooth Fairy.
Well...
He had a run of movies I didn't watch.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Tooth Fairy. I haven't seen Gridiron Gang.
But it's weird because I think that run is the same run I haven't seen.
Right.
Because I haven't seen those two.
He doesn't get a pass for Scorpion King. The funny thing is,
I
went back and rewatched his first Saturday Night Live hosting. It's terrible.
Is it?
It's not good.
Interesting.
Like that opening monologue where all the WWE wrestlers, like Big Show and Foley and Triple H, show up.
Well, that's because Triple H had to show up because he wasn't going to put anybody else over.
Triple H is the best part. Rock is not good in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Triple H is like, no, you can't go on SNL and be better than me. I'm going.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where you can tell he's just become a much better entertainer over the years. And it's... So I think now, now The Rock's in a movie, I'm going to see the movie.
Yeah, he's just
like,
funny,
The
man.
Rock could come out tomorrow and say he's in Magic Mike 3. And guess who's going to watch Magic Mike 3?
What does that say about you?
A lot. And I'm afraid to go a lot deeper into that.
So you smell what The Rock is cooking. You know your role.
I know my role. And I shut my mouth.
Do you?
I haven't. Yet again, what's weird is I'm not interrupting you as much anymore, but I still am clearly talking way more than you on this.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. But no, like, I don't know. It's like, it was fun. Like, I didn't watch Baywatch. You did.
Right.
I liked it. You liked it, knowing the show. I was like, I don't think you need to know the show to watch that
Not
movie.
at all. Here's the thing. Anybody who knows that Baywatch exists knows all they need to know about the show.
Yeah. And
like, that's literally it.
But I can see why people would crap on that movie because it is a weird movie. God, some of the characters acted different. Did you notice that? Like they would be a certain way in one scene, and then there'd be another.
I could see that.
So I'm like, was this movie just kind of filmed and chopped together?
It wouldn't shock me.
So I can see why people would crap on it. But God, The Rock is just so funny. He's forgivable.
Funny. Like I said, the girls in it were amazingly. Which going back to Wonder Woman, like. I've seen her in a lot of movies. Like, she's been in the Fast movies. She was in Batman Superman. Mm-hmm. She is absolutely gorgeous in Wonder Woman. Like, when they have some of those scenes to where it's like, oh, like, I remember it was like when they put the glasses on her and like, oh, like, she's not the most beautiful woman you've ever seen. I'm like, you know what? She might be.
Yeah.
Like...
this is funny, though. I thought about this when we were watching Wonder Woman, and I meant to talk to you about this. She's in Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
She dies on a runway. She fights Ares on a runway.
Shit.
I was like, she just can't get away from an airport, man.
No.
I was like, I just thought that was funny. I was like, is this the world's longest runway again? I was like, because she's going to beat his ass all over the place to make up for dying in Fast and Furious.
But I mean, like I said, Baywatch, you had The Rock being funny. All the characters I thought were really funny.
Yeah.
Like I said, they ran through their F-bomb budget like it was a Samuel L. Jackson
5
written
minutes.
movie.
It was awesome. Like, it was just funny as crap hearing him, like, it's like Rock's like, you know what? I don't have a filter in this movie, and I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
But...
one thing that got me, and I understand why they did it, because you're expecting it, and this is, spoilers, but not spoilers. the fact that the only nudity in the movie is a dude.
That is dead.
That's dead. Like,
and it's Oscar from The Office.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, man, like, I remember going into it seeing that it was R for nudity. I'm like, man, it's Baywatch. You're going to have some like good stuff going on in this movie. No.
It was funny because when I pointed out, I was like, hey, he played his daughter in San Andreas. I was like, is Baywatch the sequel to San Andreas? Is this what they did after they saved San Andreas? But, yeah, it was funny. Like, the whole thing I pointed out was like, this is Bad Boys 2. Like, the whole plot of this movie is kind of Bad Boys 2.
Kind of is.
So,
I do like
Can The Rock be in Bad Boys 3?
Oh, God. Wouldn't shock me.
That'd be awesome.
Would not shock me. I mean, it seems like that's what you do with a franchise nowadays. You just throw The Rock in it.
Well, for a while there, they were calling him the franchise savior.
Yeah.
Because they threw him in
G.I. Joe,
Fast
and Furious, Journey to the Center of the Earth.
I'm really just waiting for him to show up in Transformers as Roadblock.
You know what? I hope that this is the last Transformers movie. I know it won't be.
No, probably not.
I'm done with these movies. I'm done with this trailer.
Did you not?
Like, honestly, like,
well, dude,
I've seen this stupid trailer. I think all 18 of the movies that I've seen on this list
seen a variation of
have had the damn Transformers trailer on it. And I'm so sick of this trailer.
We just now started getting a new one, and we're already sick of it.
No, there's another one that I actually really liked.
Oh, really?
There's a trailer that focuses around the girl.
Mm-hmm.
That trailer's actually really good.
That's the new one, because we've only seen it once.
It's the same stupid Anthony Hopkins trailer that we've seen a million times that actually aggravates me with the way that it opens and closes with that piano note. I don't know why. It gets on my nerves. It's like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Well,
stupid.
I hate to burst your bubble, but that's not going to be the end of them.
They already announced they're making. Michael Bay has said he's not.
Are we getting
the
more
Bumblebee movie.
Or getting a Bumblebee spinoff.
That's bullshit.
But that girl in that trailer is supposed to be the lead.
They're going to transfer it over to her.
Yeah.
Michael Bay said he was going to stop making these movies like 5 movies ago.
Yeah, but then you got people in his ear screaming, "Just do it!"
Not with him. Not with him.
God, no. What's he doing anyway?
Nothing.
5 foot nothing.
5 foot nothing. Champ's phone rang. It's nothing. Says he knows you.
I guess that's it so far.
I mean, that's it. We've got a good amount of movies coming forward. Let's see, because June is still a good amount. Like we do have aforementioned Transformers: Revenge of the Shitty trailer.
Revenge of the Sith Transformers edition. God.
What else we got?
Don't do it, Optimus. I have the high ground.
Lava ground.
I don't know, man. I'd have to start working my way backwards because I know we got Star Wars and
we got Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, Atomic Blonde.
Let me see. I'll pull up my list here. All right, what do we got? So we got Baby Driver, Atomic Blonde.
Yeah.
Mummy, which we're seeing for free.
Yep.
Transformers, Despicable Me, Spider-Man, Planet of the Apes, Valerian in the trailer I've seen 1,000 times. Dunkirk, Dark Tower, which we're going to do. That is definitely one. Those of you who watched the YouTube show before this, we're going to get Jamie on after Rob reads one of the books.
Maybe.
It's never going to happen. But,
that's going to be a you and Jamie episode.
We want to talk about the Tower. We got Hitman's Bodyguard, It, American Assassin, Kingsman, Blade Runner, Thor, Justice League, Spider-Man, or Star Wars, Jumanji, speaking of The Rock, Pitch Perfect. But the summer still rounds out a little bit. Like I said, we got a Baby Driver and Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde was that movie. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I want to see this. And remember when you hadn't seen the trailer? I was like, have you seen this?
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
Because I kept hearing about it. But like I said, Mummy, we're doing Mummy in 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, I already got the free tickets for that one. So
Transformers and Despicable Me, Spider-Man, Planet of the Apes, Valerian. So, Not a whole. Like, we got about 10 more movies coming out this summer that. And we'll start doing these. Like, this is our recap show because we're so far behind. But we're going to start doing.
Trying to restructure what we were doing. And
like,
to do
as
it
you
in
see,
easier
we've
format.
moved from the TV show or the YouTube show, which we are going to go back and start doing a little bit differently. We're still trying to figure out what we want the YouTube show to be. So, you know, the YouTube show for the next little bit is going to be this.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get back in the groove of doing this more regularly, though.
Yeah.
Especially with the schedules changing and opening up.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got, like, one of the things, we're actually doing this on a nice soundboard, nice microphones. We're not filming this on a cell phone that we have propped up with a selfie stick and Blu-ray cases
'cause, yeah.
In front of my
Struggling.
Lego village. You know, we're actually trying to do some cool stuff here. Figure out what we want Gimmicks Inc. to be. So, not a bad first half of the year.
No.
18 flicks, 16 and 17 of them being theatricals.
Yeah, I mean, comic book movies out the wazoo, like we know and love.
Yeah.
So we're going to have more of those.
Quite a few. Had a lot of fun so far. You know, I think I said I've got 31 movies left that came out this year that I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some stuff to go back to. Like, I want to watch Split.
Yeah.
Phoenix Forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to constantly be stuff that slips through the cracks just because schedules and time. And if we could just sit there and watch movies all day, we'd do it.
Well, some of us have a job that allows that, and I'm about to start that.
That's awesome.
But, so, you know, we're probably about an hour or some into this show, so we're going to go ahead and cut it out. Thanks for joining us this go around. Like I said, that's the first half of the year. We've got more movies. We've got more stuff to do. We've got our Ghostbusters podcast coming up soon. We're going to start doing a little bit of Snarky Mark and the Drunky Bunch, where we do some Mystery Science Theater over pro wrestling. Few other things we got down the pike. Basically anything we want to grab a microphone and talk about. You know, we have to use this stuff. We've paid for it now.
Yeah.
So,
put it to use.
So, going ahead and signing off again for Real Talk. I'm Shane.
I'm Robbie.
And we'll see you at the movies.